Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. I am here with a favorite of all of us, Rashid from Ready to Love Season 3. Now, you guys have been calling for me to make this interview happen, you understand? So today, we are going to sit down with Rashid, part 2, have a real deep conversation, and as well get you some answers on some certain topics that you guys have been screaming for me to ask him for. With all respect, obviously. So, Rashid, thank you very much for accepting the call to come on here. How are you doing today?
No problem, man. I'm doing great. I told you I'd be back. I'm a man of my word, man.
I know.
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm alive and well. Just been working as you have been working. As you've been selling, I've been selling. You know what I'm saying? So we're good, bro.
How's things in the UK, mate?
Things in the UK are doing good, sir. They're doing good, sir.
Okay.
They're doing all right. So we're living life. COVID's still here, like everybody else, but it's good.
Yeah, y'all probably better off than we are, man. It's a mess.
Well, I mean, the way that you guys have been partying as if they ain't got COVID over there, I think we might be. But then again, our leaders seem to be a bit mad still. So not mentioning any names, Boris. Not mentioning any names, but. It gets like that. Right. But Rashid, I want to jump straight in. I know. We saw you on the show Ready to Love. If many of you guys are not aware, Rashid was on Ready to Love season 3. He caused quite, I wouldn't say even a storm, but he's become the fan favorite through his honesty, his authenticity, and just the general love that he's been exuding. Do you know what I mean? Even in difficult situations, he still had the angle and the knack and the patience to deal with certain topics in the most respectful manner. So we respect you for that. I want to ask you first question. I want to jump straight in. Let me go to my Pokedex of questions that I have for you ready today, sir. I want to ask you this question. Is there any chance that an ex is going to leave a note on your particular door? We just need to make sure before we start the interview. Is there any exes that are going to leave a note on your door saying to come back for Rashid? Is there any chance?
No. No, I don't think so. No.
Fantastic. No. So we can kick the show off then. All right, cool. So I want I just don't want I don't want no one dropping a note on your door. Do you know what I'm saying? And having that story for you.
No,
all right, cool. Cool. Question is, I want to ask you is, why do you think that you and Adriana are not at the end of Ready to Love season 3 since you guys had such a great connection, so it seems, on the show? Why did you and Adriana not make it to the very end?
That's a great question, man. I just think through the time when we first saw each other, we were both excited about a second opportunity, first of all, because everybody knows that there was a one date previously that didn't work out for either one of us, and we just moved from there. And then I think we were both excited to see each other, and then it was like we already had some sort of a mutual attraction to even, date the first time, even though, it wasn't any romantic chemistry there because we just weren't ready. So I think we were really excited. There was some comfortability there, and then we just was off to the races. So, and I think you saw that on screen or whatever. And then as it started going along, there was other people. We're all dating multiple people during the time, and it's an open process. Everybody knew that. So, she was getting to know other people, and as well as I. And then I think kind of towards the end, she started just gaining more feelings for Kelfani, and it was very evident, that you could see. We had chemistry, but there was, from my standpoint, it was just more, I don't know, just deeper. It was a different type of chemistry between the two of them. And along that time, I started noticing some of our ideals for the future weren't quite lining up on her end as well as mine. So I think that had something to do with it, along with her having more of a chemistry and vibe towards Kelfani. So that's what ultimately I think what led to us not making it to the end.
Beautiful. I mean, I've heard similar enough the stories how you and Adriana, it's not a ghosting situation, but I want to ask a genuine, real question. What is it about Adriana that attracted you to her? What drew Rasheed to Adriana? Aside the fact that I know you guys have actually had a friendship outside of, if many people are not aware, you guys had a friendship of sorts outside of the show before you came on the show. But when you got on the show, I mean, what drew you to Adriana?
And she's gorgeous. girl, man. Look at her. She's beautiful. All that melanin and brown and all that. And she's tall. I'm tall. So that definitely stood out. And like I told her dad, her smile is just gorgeous. It disarms you, and it's inviting. And then she's got a great personality. I like women who don't take themselves too serious, because I can be a big, childish and fun guy. So I like someone who can match me when we're kind of courting and getting to know each other. So that's what drew me to her. And she does have a love for family, and she wants that going forward. So that's definitely huge for me.
And how would you describe your sentiment or feeling towards Adriana now the show is over? How would you say what is your feelings towards Adriana now?
I think Adriana's a great girl. We're just I'm rooting for her. I have no ill will towards her, and I told her that, and I still maintain that as well. I like the fact that I feel that we were able to maintain a friendship through that, and I just want to see her win. And all the people that I'm involved with, whether it be emotionally, mentally, if it's even some sort of type of love type of chemistry, or even just we're just friends. I just want to see all my people win. So I still want to see her win, and I still wish her the best. So, I'm still rooting for her.
Before I go any further into the questions with you and Adriana, I mean, what gives Rasheed the ability to be able to have that level of, as I loved what Olsen was saying, class, to be able to be so respectful? Because let me tell you the honest truth, bro, if I was in your situation, that class might not exist the way that you've shown it to us. So what gives Rasheed that ability to be so classy and respectful to situations where it may not have been so respectful in the opposite direction?
Man, I just think I was always taught grace, man. Just growing up, I was always taught grace. I grew up around the church, and I grew up around role models, man, the solid men that I look to just as this standard, bro. And I'm wearing one of them right now. But we talked about, this is my father. So my mother's father, and he had a 5th grade education, bro, from small town Louisiana. But if you talk to him, he thought he was a well-traveled, educated, well-spoken, intelligent man. And I saw him, how he treated my grandmother and how he treated his 3 daughters like queens, and just how he had grace and empathy for, taking care of them and treating them that way. Man, my grandmother didn't even know how to grocery shop, bro. He waited on her hand and foot. So that's what I saw. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that from my dad as well. So, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So, that's kind of, I think that's how I've able to gain that level of patience and respect to women. And I was raised by a single mom. So, I guess that's kind of, it was just embedded in me, bro.
I love that. And is that what gave you the sufficiency to be able to deal with the scenario at the reunion where Denise, I said, refused to apologize appropriately both times, not once, but twice, failed at an appropriate apology, and you respectfully kind of let her know that it wasn't a solid apology. How do you feel about that situation? Because, like I said, I mean, we can all go through situations where something gets done to us in the wrong way, and we can and we can get hurt by it. But how do you? How were you able to handle that kind of situation? I know you spoke about grace, but that situation was very personal. The things that were labeled against you, and as you said yourself, it will be labeled against you forever. Wherever you go now, they will always ask to make sure is he doing that? Is he like Denise said? So how do you handle those kind of situations then, those kind of intense ones there?
Well, and I said this on the show. I think they said a little bit like, if you don't want to apologize, then don't do that, because it's not going to make me feel any better, because I know it was forced. So in that scenario, I understood her pain. I understood where she was coming from. And like I said, I felt for her and had sympathy and empathy for her situation, because nobody wants to see a female go through that kind of stuff. But I also make sure that at least I'm able to express to her how I feel. And I told her that. We squashed it. I forgave her, but that didn't change the way I feel. And I articulated that to her. I said, listen, I thought what you said was irresponsible and reckless, period. And I always feel that way, and she knows that. But at the same time, I don't hold a grudge against her because I got to say my piece. And long as if I release that energy from me, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really. That's why I didn't really. It didn't bother me that she didn't give an apology that you would expect, like a typical type of apology. It didn't bother me, and it didn't make me feel any way negatively towards her as well. As long as I got my side of it out, then I'm good.
I respect that, honestly, and I love the fact that obviously, like I said, you handled it with so much grace, because I think a lot of us would have popped off, gone a bit differently, on several occasions that you were handled in terms of a situation as well. I mean, I guess I can ask a follow-up question from that, which is, since obviously, like you said, that comment will always go with you, have you had to find yourself in situations where potentially you might have had to defend yourself or, explain that situation out about the narcissism comment then? Have you had to be in a situation like that?
To be honest with you, I haven't had to explain myself, no. I've just had to answer to the question all the time.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm going to have to answer this all the time. So I haven't felt any negativity or backlash by it because, I think people were able to see that that's not me. So I can't let that define me. And that's what I was concerned about. But I also knew that I was being my genuine and organic, natural self. So I felt that it would show throughout the process if I stuck around. So, it's just being asked like right now. And that's my point. That was my point. I'm going to have to, basically, not forever, because, this is an encapsulation of time. People will forget about me and Ready to Love eventually. But in the interim, I knew I'd have to answer those questions.
Interesting enough, on the reunion as well, you was quite expressive. You were showing a lot of facial expressions to different things that were happening in different events. One being obviously the Denise one we obviously had, but then there was also the Naya situation as well with KG. You spoke up a little bit as well in that particular scene, and obviously we got the infamous watching you guys back again talking to the couch as well. A question that actually an audience member asked, which I think it was a valid question to ask, has the audience felt a little bit like, has anybody held Naya to any accountability in regards to the way she treated KG? Because it sounded like, to us as an audience, that everyone could see that it was kind of, in the English word here I'd use as peak, which means the situation was a little bit difficult, seeing Naya treat KG the way she did. As much as it was a dating show and everyone could date who they want, some of the things that she said, I think a lot of people felt a certain type of way. So people are asking, did anybody else kind of hold Naya accountable in terms of how she operated with KG?
Not that I saw, like, in a group setting. Now, if something happened, just with a few people and behind closed doors, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't have any information is that pertaining to that. But, I didn't see that. But I do know that her and KG did have a chance to talk.
Okay.
And what came of that, who knows? He may have held her accountable. But I've said this in many interviews. I love Naya to death. She's so much fun, and that's my girl. And she apologized to me shortly after the whole couch situation. I was just angry and ready to go. But she's gonna tell you like it is, and she's very matter of fact. And what, some of that you kind of got to admire, because it's like, this is me, this is all of me. I'm not changing, and at least I can respect that, because you are who you are day one, and then day 31, you're still the same person. So, that's how I feel about that situation.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let me head back into my questions, because I want to talk about some things. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're aware, you've watched, I guess, Adriana and Carfani that had a live on my particular channel last week, I think it was, or so, or the weekend just gone. So you're aware of what was kind of said, if you're aware.
Pretty much. I didn't see all of it because it was rather long, but
yeah, it was.
Yeah. But sure, yeah, I saw some of most of the interview.
Cool, fantastic. So if I ask some questions around that, but I want to ask this before I get to that point. I mean, there was a question on the reunion which we didn't get to see the formation, the summation of your answer. Nephew Tommy, if you want to call it that, Uncle Tommy said to you, would you date Adriana again? And I guess I want to ask you that question, given the chance, because it got cut off because Adriana was talking with Kalfani. Would you date Adriana again? So if she came and left a note on your door, would you be dating Adriana again?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, so that's where I was leading to when I was talking to Tommy. I would say, you know what? I care about her a lot. I think she's a great, phenomenal person. And I said, I can clearly tell she's hurting right now from this situation. But as far as me and her go, I think it's better left off that we be friends. Third time is not going to be the charm around this way. And I said that, respectfully, that I root for her and I wish her nothing but the best, just like I said earlier. But I think it was time for us to separate trying to have any type of intimate romantic relationship, and we were just going to be friends, and I was just going to be there for her if she needed me as a big brother or just as a close associate or friend.
How did you even feel about that situation on the reunion when you're talking? And let me tell you something, from our perspective, I'm watching a brother just shell it out, tell us his heart, what I'm saying, explain how he felt about a situation. And then the other person who's meant to be listening isn't listening. Do you know what I mean? And so how did you feel about that particular situation? Maybe at the time, maybe you didn't feel it, but maybe watching it back, how do you feel about that situation?
Well, when I started talking, I think y'all seen enough. I started getting deep and started talking and going in. And in actuality, I did not see that when it happened until Tommy called it out. Because, in natural conversation, Tommy asked me the question and I look at who asked you the question. You know what I'm saying? I responded directly to Tommy and was talking to him. Well, they were across the room closer to Tommy than I was. And he said, hold on, Rashid. That was the only knowledge I had of them talking, because I was just answering the question to Tommy, right? And then seeing it back live, I see how the audience could be turned off by that. But to be honest with you, man, I saw it, but it really didn't bother me because they had unfinished business. You know what I'm saying? And, whether or not the timing was right, that's for everybody to kind of debate. But, they had unfinished business, and that was a serious, serious situation between the two of them. And I felt actually for both of them in that situation, it did not, if I'm 1,000% honest with you, it did not bother me because I know how I felt and I know what I expressed. And you know what I'm saying? I got off what I needed to say. So, once I release it, brother, it's up to the person if they're going to grasp it.
At that point, the reason why maybe not the reason. Let me ask the question: was you able to maintain the emotions towards the situation because at that point you were over it? Can I ask that question? If that's possible?
For sure. Now, me and Adriana stayed friendly, and we talked after that. We were in great communication, so I knew of the situation, so it wasn't a huge surprise to me. But I had closed that chapter, or we had closed that chapter, however you want to put it, of us being romantic. So at that point, like, I'm feeling for her as a friend. Like, I see my friend over there is like in pain. She's hurting, and I can't imagine being in that situation. I would want to crawl in a hole and so I was just trying to feel for her in that moment as a friend.
So obviously she made some points, obviously saying, I want to put it loosely, she said she had to almost keep you on the show because the ending couldn't have, obviously they needed an appropriate ending to the show. So in a sense, what she was alluding to was that last segment where we've seen the last few weeks of the show, the way they've put it, you were only on there because she was dragging. I don't want to say dragging. That's the wrong word, and it's a hard adjective. Okay. She was keeping you on the show. Basically, she was the one that's keeping you on the show. Basically, like she was done. Like she said, she was already out. By what she said on my particular platform, she was already out, and it's almost as if like she kept you along the show. Is that how it seemed? Is that what it was?
That's not what I got, but
Okay.
I can only say what I know to be fact.
Okay, please let us know then. You'll say, yeah.
So I can't say it's production or made her keep her. They didn't say that to me. Hey, that would never happen. So that may be what she knows to be fact, and that's all I'm going to speak about. What I know to be factual, right? So in that instance, if so, when we're let me go in order here. So when I was about the content to keep me around. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was going to self-eliminate, so you have to rewind and kind of go to I can let you in behind the curtain a little bit. Exclusive. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's rewind. All right. Okay. So obviously, like I said on the couch, I'm no fool. I see that he's liking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see it. I'm being chivalrous. I feel like I'm courting you. I'm giving gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm professing my like for you.
Oh yeah, eggs in basket.
Whole 9 yards. So you go to the Inga day, right? Between two of us, just us two. Okay. There was some stuff that was said that wasn't shown. Okay.
Okay.
So, and I don't always want to this narrative. Production. However, you have tons of stuff they have to chop up and give to the world. So I get it. But along my line of questioning, when I asked her, "Am I still your number one?" Correct.
Yes, this is very.
All right. So now, something that wasn't shown was basically she said, "You're basically even." Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we were at the point where we were too close to the end. Tommy was not accepting that. Okay. For both of us. All right. So when I was in Tommy's Tavern, this is before. This is after Symone left, and I was saying, because Alex was still around. Wait, I'm trying to remember who went home first. Because this all happened so long ago.
That's right.
I don't remember. But again, I'm speaking on my facts. So I had Adriana, and I think it was Alex. I said Alex had moved up the leaderboard. No, I think it was Symone. Moved up the leaderboard. I'm sorry. It was Symone. And I said, man, they're net and net. And then Tommy asked, okay, we're getting past that. Now, if you had to go home with somebody right now, like if you had a proverbial gun to your head, who would you take right now? Mm-hmm. I said, John, I'm going to insist she's always been my number one. I'm not wavering from that, even though I saw her slipping towards, Kalfani. So when we had the gym date, I asked her, she told me it was basically that. So she said the same thing to Tommy, okay? So when she says that to Tommy tells her the same thing. No, you got to pick. If you had to pick right today, who would be? He told me to my face, she said, I told him Kalfani. Okay, I got you. I understand. All right. So at that point, that's when I started backing up a little bit. Who wouldn't? Like, that's kind of a natural response. We've gone so long in the process now. So I'm like, okay, I get it. So he's kind of stepped up and moved ahead of me. Okay, fine.
Oh wait, sorry, Rasheed. Go over that again. Sorry, it just cut there. Are you saying? I think I heard it correctly, but you're saying Tommy made you clarify by, let's say again hypothetically, that you got to choose one now. Like there's no two, one or two.
I'm not taking that anymore.
I'm not taking it more. So I want to hear your number ones.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when the number ones were asked of, when Tommy asked of her number one, is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. She decided to say what? Kalfani?
Correct.
Okay, and then when you were saying number one, what was your number one?
I said Adriana.
Okay. Continue the story.
Okay. She told me that, just the two of us at the Jenga date, when I asked her, am I still your number one? Right? And we elaborated on that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So at that point, now going forward, she starts to see me kind of back up a little bit to give her space. Okay.
Okay.
Now, we're at the 5th hour now. Okay. So I just think anyone naturally doesn't want to be number two, and you put in all this time. At this point, I'm like, okay. So then, all right. So we still went out on more dates. I didn't, have any ill will towards her or stuff like that because it's okay. I saw the chemistry, but now, okay. So we're still dating, and I see her pulling away more just by her energy. You know what I'm saying? So I know this is getting drawn out, but at the end of the day,
right.
I go on the park bench to sit with her.
Mm-hmm.
I was self-eliminated.
Oh, you were self-eliminating at that point.
I was self-eliminated. Okay.
Okay.
I called production and told them what I was doing.
Okay.
They didn't want me to, but they were not holding me back from doing so. I had full freedom to leave.
So production didn't really want you to, but they were giving you the free freedom to. Okay.
I had full room to leave. And something that was never shown because I did not leave is I had a full-blown conversation with Tommy.
Okay.
Right? About leaving. Because I told production, y'all been great to me. I don't want to mess up this show. I want to leave, but I will leave under you guys' term.
Mm.
Okay, let us think about it. We'll get back to you. So later on, they say, hey, we set up a private meeting with you and Tommy. You go talk and you tell him, express to him how you're feeling and get his advice. All right, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So they set up a private meeting with him. I don't know if anybody, I think Adriana knows this because I told her. Mm. Nobody knew about this at the time. It was like 11 o'clock at night. He was on the dock. It was at night. He had the tiki torches up, just me and him sitting there talking. And I'm expressing to him the whole chase versus courting. I said, I put my best foot forward. I see that she's moving in another direction, which is okay. But at the same time, I feel I'm going to gracefully, respect her and step out. And he told me, you know what? Do me a favor. Talk to your sister about it. Because it was talk to your sister, see what she says. I said, you know what? I won't make a decision just yet, Tommy. I appreciate that. And I'll go talk to my sister. Okay. So obviously they never showed that because I didn't leave. But they filmed content to show if I left.
Okay.
You following me? Mm-hmm. So this is what I know to be true. That's all I'm saying. So if I left, because they know I control what I want to do, period. So they had content set up if I left. Okay. So that's what happened.
Wow. Okay, so at the point of they said go and speak to your sister, you didn't want her. Well, you gave her kind of almost an option for her to come down, but then she asked you a question back in a sense of like, is it really worth it? Almost in a sense, and you kind of said, you know what, basically like follow your heart kind of thing. Why did you feel not to bring your sister down at that point to come and meet Adriana?
Well, if you remember, like I just said, I had talked to Tommy and I was already ready to go. Right? And I talked to Tommy. Tommy said, hey, do me a favor. I said, talk to your sister first, get her perspective and tell her how you're feeling. Right? Yeah. So then, sure, I did that. Is what you all saw. But I already knew that, that she was ready to go another direction. And I knew going into this show, you can't win them all. Like, I'm a competitor, and like I said on the park bench, I said, I don't think there's one more date I can go on. I don't think there's one more date he can take you on. There's no more, there's no more selling that we can do at this point. It's about decision you make. And I'm okay with that because I don't know anybody who's never had a loss. Ever. There's nobody in this world that's undefeated. So I went into this situation knowing, hey, you can't win them all. You know what I'm saying? And I was prepared to gracefully step back and let her, move in the direction that clearly her heart wanted to go. Because, So my sister told me to go with my gut, right? Mm-hmm. So people, wanted to ask, well, why didn't you leave? Because that was your gut to leave, right? Mm. But in actuality, I really did go with my gut. Mm. And I'll tell you why, but if you want to follow up. But I'll tell you, I went with my gut right there on the park bench when we were talking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's making a lot of sense. I guess a lot of people... Adriana's been vindicated, guys. Okay, she's not a liar. See? I guess obviously you kind of coincided with her story, so that makes a lot of sense in that regard. What was said? I mean, we didn't get to see all of it. So what was said from Adriana's dad to you? Like what was said? Like, because we didn't get to see that insight. We got to see you answering some questions. I was even saying from my perspective when I was looking when I was looking at how Adriana was defending Kalfani, but I didn't get to see that same defense for you. When you were answering the questions, you just got left to it and answer it, and you seemed like you was answering it fine. You seemed like you was on fire. You know what I'm saying? You was moving, like the Black Mamba out here. You know what I'm saying, just shooting and scoring. But what was said after that we didn't get to see, because there was a whole conversation, I'm guessing, between yourself and her father. Like, what was said? What was said to you?
Oh man, to be honest with you, I don't really remember. The highlights obviously was he asked me what makes you human as well. And, it was different setting as far as me and Kelfani and her. Me and him were playing pool, so that's a little more casual than them sitting on a couch together and stuff like that. And we were just talking about sports, HBCU, and then we talked about obviously. I think he asked me about my marriage and my child, which is absolutely reasonable. Any father would ask that. Yeah. But other than that, I don't remember anything else that stood out.
Did you get a sense after that interview with the father that it's still not going to run? Like it's not going in your direction. This is a loss. Is that how did you still feel that way after?
Well, I already knew it was a loss. So, and I went into that to finish what I started. So if we rewind, go back to the bench scene where me and her are talking, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling her basically I want to respectfully, bow out and let you, go with Kelfani. He's a great dude, and I wish you the best. Then I was talking to her. She was saying that, he was fighting for her, and I don't feel, that you're fighting for me anymore.
And talk about that.
And I said, well, you just remember just the other day, you just told me that if you had to pick one, it would be Kelfani. And she basically told me, well, that was for strategic purposes.
Sorry. She'd what? Say that again.
Yeah.
No, rewind that little section again.
Right.
Bro,
she said, man, you're backing up. I don't know what's going on. Like, why are you going back like you're giving up? I said, well, Adriana, you do remember we just had a date where you told me that if you had to choose one, it would be Kelfani. Said, yeah, well, that was for strategic purposes to keep him. I'm like, well, love, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that. So how am I, again, I'm stating what I know to be fact from what I know. She said that, okay, to me. And I was like, okay, I got you. But I didn't know that, all right? Further, she also mentioned that when we were talking, she was saying that Kelfani was respectful of me and her, right? And he was like, I like you. And she said, she's not telling, she's telling the truth where he said, hey, I know this from her mouth, what she told me, hey, I know that Rasheed's your number one, but what do I need to do to get there? Or what basically, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but what she basically understood her to say was that what is it about him that has him number one, right? And she told me that he's very consistent. He always comes and checks on me. He does this. He might walk off and talk to another girl, but he's going to circle back around to me. And she said, then he started stepping up and doing that. I said, okay, that's fair. But so what you're telling me is you gave him the answer to the test. He was doing what I was already doing organically. Is that what you're saying?
Damn. Bro, you're dropping with some bars up in here, bro. My chest.
What to be factual. That's it. So,
bro, I just need you to rewind. I heard it, but I just need to rewind so we understand, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. Right. So the part where you're talking about, just the part where you said Adriana where you're talking about Adriana, the Kalfani situation, where answers to the test, but just take us a little bit further back so we can get that understanding. Do you know what I'm saying? Just so we can deep what you just said. You understand?
Well, and during this conversation, maybe this is the point where she said production wanted to keep me around, right? So when you saw the portion of when she was comparing the two of us.
Okay. And yeah, I'm in the spot.
Right. Basically, she was saying he's consistent. I don't know exactly, but I remember her saying that he acknowledged that I was our number one. What is about him and about me, and what can he do? And she basically told him what I was doing, and then he started to implement him. So I said to her, I said, well, okay, basically he's doing now what I was doing organically, and she said yes.
So basically, what you're saying is, in a sense, she basically gave him. So basically, his behavior was in accordance with what information he then got given by Adriana to fix up. In a sense, I'm putting it quite loosely. So the when she's talking about him, because she said on our show as well, when he comes to he came in the morning and he'll wake her up, let's go for a prayer, all this kind of stuff. What you're saying in a sense is that even though she gave him all that credit, she actually kind of gave him the answers to the test in terms of the fact of how to change his behavior to get to that point where she would be, I guess, feeling the way she's feeling about the fact that he's doing all these things, X, Y, and Z. Whereas yourself, you're already doing these things without being asked. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Right. So, but I don't know, maybe he did it to the 10th power. And so I don't know at what point that he made that shift. And maybe it was just a focus. Maybe he was like, yo, I'm focused on 2 and I couldn't do that right now, but I'm focused on you. And I was just, so the coming to the room and checking on the morning, I wasn't doing that part of it. Maybe he took that and ran with it and, added his own energy to it. All I'm saying is that was the conversation that she told me.
Yeah.
I need to be factual.
Okay. Do you feel? Oh, sorry, it broke up there. Go for it.
When I said I went with my gut changed in that moment when we were talking. Okay, so I still did go with my gut. So as me and her were talking, I'm like, okay, she felt that I was giving up or throwing in the towel when competition came. Mind you, I had this information that she told me about if he had to leave with him now, this and the third. So in my gut, I'm like, okay, if I leave now, I'm going to be looked at like a quitter, right? Or I threw in the towel because competition came, right? And then what I teach my kids when I used to coach and when I teach my son now, finish what you start, right? So in that instant, I went with my gut because my gut immediately switched and said, you know what, go ahead and stay, finish the process. Because meeting her father was the same day. It was going to be that night, right? So when you leave the resort, they get you out of there, but you go to another hotel because they don't know if you're going to act the fool and just go off and go crazy. But it's still a 2.5 hour ride back to Atlanta before you can fly back. So I knew I wouldn't leave until the morning anyway. And it was the middle of the day. So when we talked, I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, sure. I'd love to meet. Let's meet your dad because that was 4 hours from there. So I'm like, sure, let's meet your dad. And then, we'll see where the chips fall. But I knew in my gut that I should stay and finish the process, but also knew that she had feelings for Kelfani, and they were a lot stronger than mine. So that's why I ended up saying in that split moment, my gut just switched after I heard when I was talking to her, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just finish what I started.
Damn, man. Can I ask you a genuine question then? At what point did you feel like, hey, Adriana's playing the game?
I never felt that way, brother. I never felt that she was playing the game. I never felt she was playing me. I really didn't, man. I just felt that, she had a better, intense vibe and feeling towards Kelfani. And that happens in dating, bro. Like, it just doesn't always happen in front of you.
I agree.
Like, but a girl you can be dating could be, keep you're talking to another guy. You get off the phone with her at 11:30, and then she talked to him from 11:30 to 2. Like, I get it, man. And I knew, like I said, I went into this process going to put all my cards on the table, and I was going to be able to live with the results, good or bad. I'm a big boy. I got big enough shoulders to handle the good and the bad. So I didn't feel that she was playing the game. I really did. I mean, when she told me the strategic part about Kelfani.
That's what I'm saying, the game stuff, because that's strategic, telling you one thing.
But I didn't think that she was playing me.
Okay.
It was, because I think at that point, I don't remember chronologically, but I think at that point, him and Denise had all the way ended up like moving on. So I don't know if he had anybody else to keep him on. I don't know. That's not my truth. But you might have to ask her that. But like I said, I'm going to know what's factual to me.
I respect that. I respect that. So obviously, if you were already kind of looking to head out and self-eliminate, I guess I'm trying to find out because obviously there was a lot of kissing that was going on between you and Adriana. Y'all were kissing a lot. Y'all were kissing a lot. There was a lot of scenes we were seeing just you lot just smooching.
I like the kiss, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I know you. Yeah, you definitely do, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't playing. But what was it? I mean, obviously, when these kisses are taking place, were you already looking to self-eliminate? Because that's the part I'm trying to clarify and clear up as much as I'm trying to get the understanding. At what point is it when? Because the kisses are happening in a few different scenes. Jenga, the red dress on the couch, or whatever. I think there were times where there was a few kisses that were going on. At what point were you looking to head out of the situation?
I think we had already done all our kissing at that point.
Okay.
It was more. It was more then moved to the hugs and the kiss on the cheek. The very last, maybe I felt a small vibe shifting was when we had the little palette on the floor when I gave her the notebook.
The notebook, the journal.
Yeah. I started seeing stuff there, but I wasn't ready to self-eliminate. No, I can't say that. I won't say that. So I was still in at that point. What took it there was the Jenga day. And I don't remember, quite honestly, I don't remember if we kissed before or after she told me Kafani was her number one. I think it was after, actually, because then I pulled the block. You know what I'm saying? So it was not. We weren't forced to kiss, but you pull the block, and I was like, yeah, let me get a kiss. So that would probably be the only one when I was like, okay, well, I see the writing on the wall.
That Jenga game, is that the last time you guys kissed? Would you say?
Yeah.
At that point, the writing's on the wall. Are you out? Are you at that point? Are you out? Because I don't want to bring up that thing, but I have to bring it up because it was what she made a point. But she was making a point that obviously at a point in time when you guys were kissing, you weren't feeling it no more anyway. You weren't there anymore. Your mind wasn't there. Your heart wasn't in it anymore. So I'm trying to just thrash that out to kind of get the answer in that respect.
Mm-hmm. No, if I kiss you, I'm not playing around. I can't fake that.
Okay.
So I can't force a kiss to you. If I'm kissing you, I'm kissing you because I want to kiss you, and I'm gonna be into it because I like to kiss. I don't play with my kissing. I like to kiss.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. Okay, cool. So obviously you had other, I guess you had other interests as well aside Adriana. You were also a situation with also Symone as well. What is the current situation between you and Symone at the moment then?
Me and Symone are cool. I mean, we talk. We've hung out a couple times, but we're just friends right now, and just kind of. This has been, a roller coaster of like all that's going on. We all had to get back. We were gone for a month, We had to get back to our and then I had to get back to my and after that, my mom had open heart surgery. When I did our interview, I was at my mom's house. The first one we did. So I had to move back in my old room. Like I'm in high school for 6 weeks, taking care of my mom. So I wasn't going anywhere because of COVID. I didn't want to bring that back to my mom's house. She just had open heart surgery. So shortly after that, then you got the Christmas holiday. So it's just been a lot. So I haven't had really time to sit and focus on dating. If that's what you're asking, if I've had the opportunity to date Symone or anyone else, we've just been we've talked and we've been around other castmates, kind of hung out, but we keep in communication.
So is there any chance then between yourself and Symone? Are we looking for any love around there or just a friend?
Man, I wouldn't rule that out, but I'm not trying to force anything, brother. I'm just going to let stuff happen organically. And I think that's best when you do that and don't force it and then just kind of see what it's about. So, I'm not opposed to that. And I'm not opposed to, dating other ladies as well, man.
Who, apart from obviously, you had obviously connection with Adriana, I know that already, but who else on the show, like if you're looking back now, who do you wish you could have had more time with and really pursued after? Now you're looking from a post perspective.
Yeah. obviously Symone, and then I would say Alex and Winter.
Oh, Winter.
Yeah,
Oh,
Winter's dope, man. Winter's dope.
okay. Wait. When did this
We
come into the?
had a really, really good conversation. We had a great conversation at the mixer, right? Great conversation. And then it kind of shifted because I think the very next time we were filming or they were together, that's when the whole narcissistic thing came out, right? And then Winter basically chimed in about the whole Nordstrom's comment.
Yeah.
So I wasn't happy with that because that wasn't even
how the conversation went.
Be recording at that point. I did not lead with that, and Winter knew that. So I was turned off immediately by that. But me and Winter talked about that because if you know anything about in this format, these are cameramen and they're working 12, 15-hour days, and these big old cameras. Sometimes they switch out crews. Sometimes they change batteries. So when you're recording, what production had what's called cold or hard ice.
Yeah, right? Hard ice. Yeah.
Hard ice means stop talking about stuff that needs.
That's important and on the show.
No stuff, nothing important. Right?
Yeah.
I just start the conversation because we had a hurricane that almost came to Houston, so we got rushed out of town 2 days prior to when we were supposed to leave. Called them the same day, within 4 hours or 6 hours the same day. So I was able to get out. I was able to accomplish that because I was already 90% packed. But prior to that, production asked me, "Hey, do you have any pajamas?" No, I don't wear pajamas. Like, I don't wear pajamas. I wear basketball shorts and a tank top or no shirt. Like, and if it's cold in Houston, rarely I'm put on some long johns, but I don't wear pajamas. But I'm like, okay, let me get some nice pajamas. We're gonna be filming, and I know where I'm gonna get me some nice pajamas because stuff at Nordstrom's fit me because I'm 6'6", and I know where I get my fit. Like, I know where to go. So I was there. So I asked them, "Hey, where were you guys at when you got the call to jump and run out of town?" This is an ice conversation. So everybody answered. Like KG was like, "Man, I was at the radio station. I had stuff at the cleaners. I had to go do this and that." I said, "Man, I was in the middle of Nordstrom buying pajamas." I didn't lead with that. I didn't say like, "Hey, guess what, guys? I shop it." Who does that? I'm not going to lead with that. That is pretentious and you're trying too hard. So that was all on an ice conversation. So I didn't ever know that they were going to be showing that because I thought that was just a BS conversation just to pass the time. And the fact that she brought it up, I was like, "Linda, you knew that was on ice." But we talked about it and we squashed it. And she said it the other night in an interview. After that, I was really just moving in another direction because I felt she was comfortable to say that because that was right after
the Denise situation, what she said.
So yeah. Denise, and that was my point. You said that in a group setting around, at this point, 9 women.
Yep.
So they're already and they haven't really gotten to know me yet. So they may look at me out of her lens. So it almost like she was comfortable then adding that. Well, you know what? Matter of fact, since you say that, this. You see what I'm saying? That's why me and her had a conversation about it. But me and her had a great conversation. Winter's dope. She's beautiful. She's got a hustle. And me and her become like really, really, really cool. We were cool on the show, but it was she was off doing her thing. I was off doing mine.
I mean, I think I watched the interview with her. She also said that she wishes she got to also date you on the show as well. So maybe you two need to start having that conversation. You understand? Yeah, because both of you said the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you said no, for real, because she said the same thing. I watched her interview as well, and she was saying same thing, that she wished she had spent more time and that she got to know you as well, because you were the last man standing that had that seems to have not played any games. So what can I say? Rasheed the man, do you get what I'm saying? So I get that. I mean, are there any regrets for you on the show? Like watching it back, watching post-production, seeing all the madness that's gone on, seeing all the great stuff that's gone on. Is there any regrets for Rasheed in how the show went and how you moved, anything like that, who you dated? Was there any regrets?
No, not at all, man. I went into it, like I said, hey, do your best and forget the rest, brother. That's kind of how, glasses half full, man. And I knew, it could be dicey. And when you're shooting reality TV, it could be 50-50, man. So I would have been good with my outcome either way. I would have to accept it. There's nothing you can go back and change, man. And, I knew I was going to accept it. And I knew that I can handle the results. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Good, bad, or indifferent. And I know, what I wasn't going to do or, feel the need to or don't feel the need to now is go on a worldwide, change my perspective, change the world's narrative, interview tour. Like, I'm not about to do that. I don't need to.
No, I hear that. I guess the audience really want to know, one of the key questions for you is, what is your current relationship status? Are you single? Are you open to dating? Are you dating already someone? Like, do you know what I mean? I know you kind of mentioned a little bit earlier on, but what's your relationship status at the moment before they enter the DMs on a mad one?
I am single. I am not dating at the moment, but I'm definitely open to it. I don't have any restrictions on. I'm not like waiting for, to
Them to find you.
Yeah, or waiting to work on myself. I've already done the work on myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like that. It's just, I'm ready. So, if it happens tomorrow, it's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. But again, I'm not going to force it.
I understand that. I actually understand that. What is Rasheed's type of woman though? Like, Rasheed, what is your type of woman? What is? How would you describe the kind of woman that Rasheed is looking for? You know what I'm saying? So these ladies can prepare themselves for you. You know what I'm saying? Like Esther Tozerski's. Talk to me, bro.
I like a woman who's very thoughtful and caring, very charismatic, funny, doesn't take herself too serious, but have a passion for what they do. Whatever it is, but just have a passion about something. And then want to live a family life and have family and have, that teammate type mentality that me and you can take on the world. I got your back, you got my back. If I get too far left, you can pull me back in. And, I can pull you out of your comfort zone. You can pull me out of mine and reel us each other back in. I like a woman, who, has style and grace. And, I like, that's just I don't think that's too much to ask, and it doesn't matter. It can come in all shapes and sizes. It's just more about an aura and a vibe. Obviously, I have to be attracted to you, but my attraction to you may show up in different ways.
Okay, I like that. I mean, for you at the moment, how have you been handling the pressures, or should I say pressures? How have you been handling this new? Because it does open more doors for you. Your DMs do get flooded. How have you been handling the change, I guess, in the atmospheric pressures for you now that you've been on Ready to Love and you're seen everywhere now? How do you handle those those changes in your life now?
Man, you definitely move a little different. Because like I told you before we got started, I got a hat on, sunglasses, and a mask, and people still recognize me. So that's weird. It's a little different. But what I've been trying to manage is my normal life versus, the new light that's being shined on me and the whole crew. But me in specific, specifically, I've been struggling with work life and this new normal for me. So I kind of I'm a real hard worker and I'm kind of hard on myself. And if a day comes home where I don't feel fulfilled work wise because I've been doing interviews or doing postings and doing like this, because I try to respond to all of the DMs and the words of the kind words and the words of affirmation. I'm trying to respond. But at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, you got to focus on what pays the bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's been a little struggle. It's been good, man. I don't have negative to say about it. I just gotta manage my time.
Some little birdies were letting me know that apparently there was a date set up between yourself and also Alexis from season 2. Is there any truth to that particular comment? I mean, you don't have to kiss and tell, please. I don't want to know the details. But was there a date? Is that are you allowed to say? You know what I'm saying? You can just nod your head and blink your eyes.
We were on a live, and it was just kind of we were talking. And Ashima's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And, I did ask her out, but there's no anything further to give you right now.
Nothing further to give us. Okay, you have to keep us updated then. Okay, keep that updated. We'll keep that on the burner for another time as well. There is one question I didn't ask about the Adriana situation. Was everybody wants you to clarify the ages and the stages comment, because I think a lot of people were, some people decide. What did you mean by ages and stages comment? What What was your kind of thought process when you were making that comment?
So my ages and stages comment was based upon the interaction that we had, right? That we're not shown. Okay. So the ages and stages was more so about our level of experience, the life experiences, and if our ideology lined up, right? So obviously, I was married for 10 years, right? And then that's the only time, that we had, not the only time that 10 years was mentioned. So when Tommy first asked me that, he said, y'all have an age gap, right? And I acknowledged that, right? And I said, but I think more ages and stages. And that was meant to, because our conversation was primarily about marriage and kids going forward. We had those conversations, right? And me being a person that was married and now divorced, I know marriage isn't always pancakes and rainbows and white picket fences, right? Me and her had the conversation. It takes work for that, right? And I'd always express to her, and y'all heard me say this, I love marriage. I want to be married again. I feel I'm my best at marriage, and we had way more good years than bad years. But at the end of the day, it still didn't work out, right? And I know now some of the tough conversations that you don't have up front can fester and grow, and then you can have a lot of resentment, and it's a snowball, right? So I would express that. We would talk about that, and she would feel that I was almost saying negative things about marriage, right? So that was more life experience, right? More life experience, ages and stages, right? So because, I could talk to a 50-year-old man, and I would say ages and stages because he's traveled the world and I haven't. He's different ages and stages, but somehow it morphed into a maturity statement. Hell, I know a 50-year-old man that is as immature as a 25-year-old, and I know a 20-year-old that's mature 50-year-old man. So that was where and what I meant from that, and I saw that as we were talking, getting in depth, getting to know each other about the future while we were on the show. I felt we had different life views and different life experiences.
I can understand that. I know she felt a little way, but about it, she felt a little bit insecure. She said that you guys had a discussion about her age situation. I think that's why she said she felt a certain type of way. That she felt like you guys had a discussion previously about how she felt a bit insecure about her age in terms of that, etc., etc. So I think she felt like that comment may have been like a trigger kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Let's talk about it. I mean, so prior to, like I said, we were talking. Heck, you even surprised me with a birthday cookie cake.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So we were good. We were cool. And we would let's go, some of the shows were there, we kind of talk. And before the reunion, she's right. She called and expressed her concern about the narrative that's out there because she had already seen that narrative. Because whoever tells you we don't read the blogs and read all that, whoever says we don't do that, they're lying. Right?
You do read it, yeah.
Right. So we were, I don't know how many shows in, at least 6 or I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever. But she saw and have started reading the momentum behind of where it was going. You follow me? So as a friend, I was there to console her, be a listening ear, and to kind of pump her up. I say, listen, own your narrative and be okay. Acknowledge, how you feel and what you chose and stand on that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be fine. You're okay. You'll be fine. All right. So when I say what I said, that was not any malice intent from our conversation. I didn't feel that I stabbed her in the back in any kind of way. And then again, after the reunion, I reached out to her because, like I said, I saw how much pain she was in. I saw how embarrassed she was by everything, right? So I reached out and said, hey, how are you doing? Because I know the reunion was intense. I know, y'all had to cover the whole thing like that, and how are you doing? Never in a million years that I thought that she was upset with the ages and stages part, right? Because I know how to art. I know how to art. I can't talk now.
I know what you mean.
I know how to articulate myself very well.
Yeah.
Right. I know I can say that there's a maturity difference. I can say that I know that's, if I wanted to say that, I would have said that in that moment. Right. But I checked her and she didn't respond. She didn't get back with me. A couple of weeks went by. I was like, what's going on? I'm like, I know she ain't mad at me. What's she mad at me for? So finally out and we talked, said, hey, you good? I ain't heard what the word. And she admitted to me, you know what? I want to tell you, she apologized to me because she told me she had sensitive rabbit ears for what I said. And she felt I was piling on the narrative that was already out there that I did not create. And I expressed to her, sweetheart, that was not what I meant by any means. I would never act you that way. After the conversation we had, the ages and stages was not about your level of maturity. I just think we had gone through more life experiences, right?
I get what you're saying.
So she apologized to me for taking it that way, and I apologized to her for me saying that and her feeling that way. But she acknowledged that she was sensitive about it.
Towards that.
And she took it the wrong way, right? And if you know Adriana, she kind of goes into her prayer closet, kind of by herself, kind of shuts down and stays away and kind of figures things out. So we had a conversation. We talked about it. I felt we were good. So, kept it moving. Hey, we're good. We're friends. We talked it out, and let's move on. So
I love that.
That's what happened.
I love that. And by the way, the audience are asking for you to put that on a t-shirt. So ages and stages, that could be your next t-shirt brand. They want that on a t-shirt. I'm not even joking. A lot of them are saying that.
I did see those comments.
They want it on a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can do that, but they're calling for it, bro. Money is to be made out here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Money is to be made out here.
Baby.
I guess my last kind of few questions. Yeah, you answered it fine. To be honest, most of us understood that, but I think we wanted to clarify it because she also came on our show and described it in a different way. So I wanted to kind of get your perspective and just kind of clarify it. You've clarified it.
So, yeah, and at the same time, when I decided to self-eliminate, I was feeling those things, right? I was feeling those things when I decided to self-eliminate. You understand? So she made the statement that, what was it? Oh, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you came on to my point. Yeah, go on.
Picked me. And I didn't really understand her logic there. Because I was feeling this way after, like I said, more of the marital conversations, the life goal conversations, right? Along with the fact that she wasn't checking for me like that. Right? And then maybe she could have very well picked Adriana. She could have very well picked Kelfani because we're at different ages and stages of life. So, and then if she would have picked me, we were done filming in October, right? How we were dating other people, right? And the reason I wanted to date her, knowing our 10-year difference, is to try to get to know each other. But we didn't get a chance to know each other that intimately, especially on our first date. And then on the show, she's dating 2 people, I'm dating 2 people, right? So we leave in September. We didn't film the reunion till December. Right? So if she would have picked me, we would have had more intimate time together, and maybe I still would have felt that we were at different ages and stages because I was already feeling that prior to her picking me or not picking me. So, I heard that was a bit unfortunate, or that was a bit. I'll leave it at that.
No, I appreciate again for clarifying that up, because actually that was my follow-up question in terms of when that particular thing, and you answered it. And I think you cleared it up, to be honest. I mean, again, most of us were on your side in terms of that situation because I think most of us understood there are different stages at different ages and different phases. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
so
and it's the same thing. I'm not trying to get anybody on my side. You know what I'm saying? It was like I told you I'm going to tell you what I know to be true for me, right? And I'm not. Again, I'm not. I feel I have no need to go on a world tour to try to change people's narrative.
I hear that. Just to make sure one more time, there's nothing you and Adriana can't happen. You and Adriana can't.
I love her to death.
I just want to make sure.
I got nothing bad to say. How could I say something bad about somebody I care about? That's not in me, bro. Can't do it. I wish nothing but the best, but no, I think we're better off as friends.
I like that. Hopefully she'll get you another cake for your birthday, cookie cutter thing, you get me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Write her a note.
Too, man. I didn't know she knew that.
And I appreciate that, Rasheed. I appreciate Rasheed as well. I guess I want to end on a little bit on yourself as well, because I think I know that obviously you're doing your YouTube at the moment, Car Gods as well, guys. If you haven't checked it out, Car Gods, CARGAWD, if I'm correct as well, right? Car Gods. You're doing a bit of that. You've got some business going on with it, even your brand at the moment as well. That's going on at the moment as well. Some other projects. But what other projects have you got going on at the moment? What other projects has Rasheed got going on?
Man, just I'm focusing on my brokering and concierge service for the vehicles. And my clothing line that is out now, that I have stuff for men and women. It's Nelson Barquet. And then, I was focusing on getting my face back together. Everybody saw, the reunion. I had the allergic reaction to the medication. So
yeah, what happened? I know what happened.
Yeah.
But for them, these men out here, they were all speculating like the doctors. Right. So let us know, bro.
No, I have a bad back, and then I was given a steroid for the back, and my body just didn't agree with it, and then. It manifests itself as severe breakout. But as you can see, I'm almost back to the kid. You know what I'm saying? So I've been working on that. That's a strenuous process, man. So, but all the bumps are gone. Now we're just trying to smooth everything back out with the dark circles. Dark marks or whatever. But other than that, that's surface level stuff. Man, I'm just working on my brand. About to start coaching my son in AAU, man. So I'm just trying to find all the right time, man. And then I'm actually thinking about continuing the conversation, man. Maybe doing something on, maybe I need to call you and you lace my shoes on.
Come on,
maybe having some sort of I've been talking to some people. Maybe have, maybe a little talk show on YouTube.
Listen,
and keep the conversation going.
Listen, I'm ready. They're ready for that too.
Huh?
They're ready for that as well, bro. They're ready for that.
Yeah. So, but we'll see, man. I'm not about to, I got a lot going on. So I don't believe in chasing a whole lot of stuff, and just we'll see what else happens, what comes to me. And, but other than that, man, just follow me on my Instagram. You'll see everything I got going on there. Thank you for everybody for their support. And, that's where it's it. That's where it is. It's up there.
They're already calling for part 3 of it. So we'll talk behind the scenes and see what we can do, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Well, audience members, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Thank you so much for anybody who's contributed. I do apologize. I never like to shout people out whilst we're doing the live. I like to concentrate on the live. But thank you for everybody who's contributed as well on the show. Really, really appreciate you guys as well. I want to say thank you so much, Rasheed, as well, for being an outstanding male on the show and giving us a good light, because some of the males... Some of the males didn't do us our best, you know what I'm saying? Some of the males kind of finished us for the male species. So we really do appreciate your respectfulness and your honorableness. And please continue on forward. We would love to see you as well on the show here back again soon. And we'll organize that as well. But again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Rasheed, we will see you soon, man. Keep flourishing, you know what I mean?
Hey.
Keep flourishing.
Hey, got no choice, baby. I got a 7-year-old to raise, my man.
I heard that.
Can't stop for that, my
Can't stop, won't stop. Different ages and stages, baby. Just don't leave no notes on someone's door. Carfani, I love you. I know he's in the chat. So yeah, guys, we're going to be doing a live after, because I know these guys want to have their opinions after, as always. But we'll see you guys a little bit later. We'll have a live as well after, so you guys can all have your opinions and jump on and say your piece. But Rasheed, thank you so much. We will talk
Hey, man,
soon.
thank you. I want to thank you all to the viewers, man. Everybody that's been supporting me and rocking with me. I really appreciate y'all. I see y'all. I'm trying to answer and get back to y'all, but, man, the love has been great, man. I love y'all to death, and I appreciate it, for real, from the bottom of my heart. Like, one love, for real. And I appreciate you, my guy, for giving us the platform. You do a great job, man. Keep it up. And I'm serious about that, man. I'm thinking about doing something, and I definitely want to pick your brain on some stuff, man.
Please, man. Let me know what I can help with.
All right,
No
my
worries. Appreciate it, guys. Audience members, love you guys, man. Appreciate you.